hope you are well. Look at this, what a beautiful day. Now I'm here in this park, in the Parque del Prado in Vitoria-Gasteiz, because normally there are lots of people running around here. Maybe not lots of people, but there's always somebody running around here, because this is a park where people typically come to jog, to run, to train. And I think it's the first time I've ever come here, and nobody's running. Just when I want to record a video of somebody running, jogging. It's kind of annoying. So, why do I want to record a video of people running around a park? Well, this week's article is about the phenomenon, the global phenomenon of parkrun, where people meet every Saturday morning and run or walk 5 kilometers. And they do it week in, week out, every week. And they time themselves. But there's no competitive element to this meeting, to this event. It's basically a social event, a community event, and it's somewhere where you can go and you can run and you time yourself. But there are volunteers there. There's a website, all your information of your times are sent to you, so you can use it to track your progress. It's quite an amazing event. And curiously, in Vitoria, which is a really sporty city with lots of sports centres, lots of green areas where people can go running and do sport and be outdoors, there isn't any organised parkrun activity. Not sure why. I mean, there are loads of running clubs here. Maybe that's why. It's all very well organised. Anyway, I'm going to leave you with the article, and I'm going to go and have a cup of coffee to sit. I'm going to sit on the terrace in the bar just behind me. What a beautiful day. Still nobody running. Where is everybody? Hey, hang on. Here's somebody who's doing a bit of running. Wow, finally. Thank you. Thank you for coming and having a jog here this morning.
You already know parkrun, right? It's that free weekly 5-kilometer event that, it takes over your local park every weekend.
Yeah, you see them everywhere now.
Exactly. But if someone pitched you that exact model as a global franchise today, 0 entry fees, 0 prize money, and a workforce entirely made up of unpaid volunteers, you probably laugh them out of the room.
Oh, absolutely. It sounds like a terrible business plan.
Right. Anyway, welcome to today's deep dive. We are pulling from a really fascinating stack of articles and notes you sent us to look under the hood of this whole phenomenon. And our mission today is to unpack the hidden operational mechanics and, well, the psychological triggers that make this actually work on a global scale.
Which is funny because it was never actually designed to be a global operation.
Wait, really?
Yeah, not at all. Back in 2004, this guy Paul Sitton Hewitt was recovering from an injury. He wasn't drafting some corporate strategy or anything.
He just wanted to run.
Basically. He simply wanted a way to stay connected to his running community. So he organized a timed run in London's Bushy Park with 13 friends and just a basic stopwatch.
Okay, hold on. If it started with a stopwatch, there was clearly some element of timekeeping right from the start.
Oh, for sure.
But the central tenet of the movement today is that it's notoriously non-competitive. Like, if you're trying to build a consistent habit, doesn't completely removing the competitive edge actually kill motivation?
You'd think so, but it actually triggers a totally different psychological mechanism.
How do you mean?
Well, traditional races rely heavily on extrinsic motivation, right? Like medals, rankings, beating the ticking clock.
Yeah, the pressure to perform.
Exactly. And that creates a massive intimidation barrier. It genuinely spikes cortisol levels for a lot of people. But parkrun strips all of that away, shifting the focus entirely to intrinsic motivation.
Ah, so you're not racing the person next to you?
Right. By prioritizing community over competition, you completely remove the friction of performance anxiety.
Yeah.
You're showing up for the routine, the personal milestones, and obviously the post-run coffee.
The most important part.
Obviously. It literally rewires the brain to associate physical activity with a social reward rather than athletic pressure.
Okay, that makes sense. Scaling that post-run coffee vibe for 13 people is pretty easy, but keeping that exact same frictionless intimacy for millions of people worldwide, that sounds like a logistical nightmare.
It really does.
How are they managing that without massive server farms and legions of paid IT staff? It feels almost like the McDonald's franchise model, but instead of shipping frozen burgers, they're distributing a free digital system and just, leaving the locals to supply the enthusiasm.
That division of labor is precisely the operational genius behind the scale. The heavy technical lifting is entirely centralized, while the execution is strictly grassroots.
So how does the tech actually work for a runner?
Well, you register once online and receive a universal barcode. That's it. Whether you show up in Tokyo or Texas, local volunteers just scan that barcode using a basic smartphone app.
Wow, just a standard smartphone.
Yep. That app instantly feeds into a central database, which processes all the global data and emails you your time.
Which means the volunteers on the ground aren't wrestling with complex spreadsheets.
Or hosting local servers, yeah.
You literally just need a few signs, some cones, and whoever is willing to hold a phone that morning.
Exactly. And that completely prevents volunteer burnout. Because the core tech costs are subsidized by grants and sponsors at the top level, local teams aren't stressed about managing budgets at all.
So anyone can step in.
Right. Roles rotate smoothly every week because the barrier to helping out is just as low as the barrier to participating.
But, that ultra-low barrier to entry is exactly what's causing a massive headache right now. I was looking at the notes on France, and official events there are currently completely suspended.
Yeah, it's a huge issue right now.
It's so ironic. Like, an initiative explicitly built to eradicate barriers is suddenly paralyzed by a bureaucratic one. What is the specific legal wall they hit over there?
It is a really brutal collision between an informal grassroots model and rigid state regulation. French law mandates that any organized sporting event requires participants to present a medical certificate.
A medical certificate just to run a 5K in the park?
Yeah, a doctor essentially has to clear them for physical activity. This legislation exists to mitigate insurance liabilities and protect organizers in case of health emergencies.
But enforcing that would totally destroy parkrun's whole just roll out of bed and scan your barcode ethos.
Completely.
Yeah.
And think about the volunteers. A casual weekend volunteer who just wanted to scan barcodes would suddenly have to verify medical documents and act as a legal gatekeeper.
Oh, wow. So the liability suddenly shifts entirely to the volunteers on a Saturday morning.
Exactly. If a runner collapses, that volunteer could theoretically face severe legal repercussions. It highlights a deep friction. Formal legal frameworks designed for professional, organized sports simply don't know how to categorize massive, informal community health initiatives.
They just don't have a box for it.
Right. It doesn't fit the mold.
So we're looking at a wildly simple premise, just get outside and move scaled through smart centralized technology and local community spirit, even if it does occasionally crash into regional liability laws.
It's a fascinating case study in scale.
It really is. And if you're looking to build a habit or a community of your own, the takeaway is clear. Make the entry point completely frictionless, which leaves you with something pretty profound to think about.
Oh.
Yeah. If prioritizing participation over competition built one of the most successful public health movements of recent decades, what other high-pressure areas of society could be completely revolutionized by simply removing the first-place trophy?
That is a really interesting question.
Chat about these questions and write down your opinions and ideas. 1. Describe the picture. What kind of sports clothes and footwear do you have at home? 2. Do you participate in any weekly activities that make you feel healthier or happier? 3. Does prioritizing participation over competition lead to more consistent lifelong activity levels? 4. Why are some activities such as parkrun and CrossFit described as cult-like? Is it positive or negative? 5. Why do you think the rules in France are so strict? Is there a good reason or is it excessive interference?